hearing us just yet here, Brady, as we're 9 laps into this race. There we go. We're live and in action here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I'm William Tiller. There's Brady LaBeouf right next to me. Adam Flieger, of course, our producer here tonight. Apologize about that technical difficulty. We're 9 laps into this race. Blake Lothian was our pole sitter to kick the events off. We now have a battle up there raging on for 4th as we come off of corner number 4.
Yeah, and it looks like Adam, he's kind of laying back a little bit, maybe to save some tire towards the end of the run for this first stage. So we're going to see how that all kind of pans out. Adam typically likes to save tires at the beginning of the run, so I believe that's what he's doing right here.
Yeah, right there we see Blake Lothian to the inside of Stephen Thomas, the 23, as we come around corner number 4. Blake Lothian, a little bit of a wiggle in the exit of the corner right there. Going to make it 11 laps into this race. We look at our stages here tonight. Brady, of course, Brady LaBeouf, the boss man here at Nazareth. It's a treat to have the boss man as we're down the backstretch here at the Rock. This is the Elite 10 here tonight as well. And Brady, I don't think the folks at home heard you about that breaking news to kick off this broadcast.
Yes, well, when we get down to the Elite 10, which is for Rockingham and Talladega to get to our Championship 6 at Charlotte, once you make it to this round, all the playoff points go away. So the top 10 in points, which you'll see them highlighted on the screen, they all have 2,000 points going into tonight. So they all reset to the same amount of points. So it's going to make it really interesting to see how this championship plans out.
Oh, absolutely makes this race a must-win. In my opinion, I think the biggest race of the season for these drivers. You want to have your season hedge on the high banks of Talladega. But 13 laps into the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200 here tonight. This is stage number 1, which will conclude at lap 50. We're going to run it down to lap 110. That will end stage number 2. And then a long run of about 90 laps or so to the end of this race, Brady. 5 sets of tires, 100% fuel capacity, no cautions just yet. When do you start to see this race starting to loosen up, sort of say?
Well, it's a 23 truck field. I know you see my name and TJ Moore's name up there on the ticker, but we're actually not in the race tonight. He's race controlling and I'm announcing. So it's going to be a little bit more calm with, 23 guys, I would say. A lot of people's going to give and take at the beginning of this race because it's known for eating your tires up real fast. You can get to lap 20 and the truck just wants to push you up a lot, and so you got to cool off the right front. So you'll see guys take it easy. You'll see guys try to get up there and get some track position and then kind of try to control this race. I think that's what Joey's trying to do. He wants to get around Adam and kind of just pace a little bit, control the race, but it's all to see. I would say at about lap 35, we'll see who's been saving enough to make that last push to lap 50.
Yeah, and right here, as we're down the front stretch right here, going to make another lap in the books. It looks like Keith Bradley is trying to put some moves on Joey Gisette here at the top of the grid as we're off with 2 down the backstretch. The Joker, we have now given him that name, is now into 3 and 4. Pretty good season. That's 16, one of the most consistent drivers here in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. But looking back on the last season here, Brady, Keith Bradley was the driver who conquered the Rock, trying to do it once again as we're into 1 and 2.
Yeah, and there was a lot of strategy in that race. If I do remember, there was a lot of comers and goers because we got off of tire sequences, and Joey had a good run there, Keith had a good run there, Adam, Blake. A lot of these guys that you see up there up front also had a good run up at that time too.
And now, as the ticker goes along the top of the grid here, 19 laps into this race, you're going to see your favorite drivers that are monikered in that gold, or let's call it yellow or gold, whichever championship gold, as we like to say, into 3 and 4 the field goes right now. Those are the drivers that are locked into the top 10 currently. The drivers that are go across the top of your screen here that are in red, those are the drivers on the outside looking in. And Brady, let me ask you, for those drivers that are on the outside looking in, who here tonight has to show out the most?
We go through these seasons, Will, and new people join, existing people come back. I know Stephen Thomas is our past champion. Chris Cinnamon's a champion in the field. Adam Newbert's going for the double. He won the Monday night championship. Now he wants the Friday night championship. I think the biggest pressure though is on Keith Bradley. He's made it, to the round of 10. It used to be the round of 12, and then we got to the round of 8s. The championship 4, the championship 6. Keith has made it all the way to this point time and time again, but has never won the championship. So I think the biggest pressure is on Mr. Keith Bradley, the animal.
I think so as well. I think in this series, he's put the most pressure on the 16 at Joey. You said, of course, you've had Adam Newert come along, win some races as well. It's kind of mixed things up there, kind of made that regular season championship a little blurry for that 16 machine, but he comes into these playoff races. He wins a couple races as well. Keith Bradley, of course, won the first race of these playoff races there in the Sweet 20 a few weeks ago. It hasn't really put up performances since then. Has slipped just a little bit in the points right now. Currently third with that reset. That's just where his name lands. I think I agree with you. The 29 of Keith Bradley, if he gets that win tonight, I think he really solidifies what has been, let's say, an up and down season.
Absolutely. It's had its many ups and its many downs, and I think he's just riding right here behind Joey. I think you want to drive in the person in front of you's tire mark to kind of save on that right front. I think that's what you're seeing Keith do right here, and then whenever Joey kind of maybe push Joey a little bit more to kind of burn his stuff up, and then you'll see Keith kind of pounce and make the move on him.
Yeah, as we're off the corner right now, Joey Doucette still leading the way. Keith Bradley right behind him as well. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4 right now. The leader starting to separate from the rest of the field. Devin Painter right there as well. Looks like we have a battle brewing up there. I think Jose Luis Rivera trying to make some moves up there as well. He's up there with Jacob Quinkart in that 5.
Yeah, and that's teammates right there for Depp Racing. You might have seen Jacob maybe pull over and give Jose that spot. You won't see that, later in the race, but for now on lap 26, definitely seeing a lot of patience, guys working together, of letting each other by, not pushing the issue and whatnot.
Yeah, very patient indeed. I think here in stage 1, that give and take period, you get to know what your truck's capable of. You know who you can work with at a track like this. I alluded it to when we started this broadcast. It's a track that not many drivers are familiar with. The Rockingham, one of those throwback tracks, if you will. But look at this mess into 3 and 4 right there. You have Jacob Plinkett on the top side. He almost forgets he has to go down the corner. Almost makes contact with the top side wall. We're going to jump back just a little bit. Check out Derek Kilgore's paint scheme here tonight in that Mountain Dew throwback.
Absolutely. Great paint scheme by Derek. Then you see Huck Wigginton right there in the 00. A couple of other guys that still, Jeff Sickles right there behind him in the 22. You got 26, Cody Knott. A lot of, mixed matching. They got guys racing for different things, Will. They got the guys that didn't make the top 20 that are still racing for money. Championship. We got a consolidation championship, as we see Cinnamon right there racing Ashley Dodson. But, yeah, there's a lot of things. Guys are still fighting for that 7th spot. 7th spot gets money, 8th spot gets money. So just because they got knocked out of, the round of 20 or the round of 14 doesn't mean that those guys are still, not in it anymore. So it looked like Blake Wilkie got in the wall right there.
Yeah, very tough so far. But this is around that window you were talking about, Brady, around that 30 to 35 lap range. We're starting to see some more drivers make contact with that top side wall. A little bit harder to get that truck to dive to the inside. A few more drivers here is going to watch that 43 truck into 1 and 2. Go very, very high on that corner into 1 and 2. The apex almost touching, almost that Dale Jr. line, if you will, off of 2. Very, very far stretch of what we saw to begin this race where the 43 was going low side.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard, when you're a driver and you're talking in the booth, it's kind of hard to know everybody's strategy. Because it surprises me that Stephen Thomas is not further up than what he is right now. I see a couple of more guys back there. Robbie Richards, racing for Mission 1 Esports. A lot of guys come into it and say, well, I just want to finish the race. You know, I want to get my points. I want to get some stage points and just have a top 10 finish or whatnot. But it's just so tough when you got to go to Talladega next week and perform and produce, because you just never know what's going to happen in that race from lap 1 to lap 90.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, you don't want to have your season basically be rely upon the high banks of Talladega. But here tonight, this is the Rock, the first round of the Elite 10. As we're down in the corner so far, has been Joey Doucette leading the way. Blake Lothian kicked off the race as our pole sitters. Right now, we see a battle between Adam Newbert and Jose Luis Rivera go down the backstretch. There's our pole sitter right there, the 43. If we could jump back and check out Blake Lothian, looks like he's struggling, losing more positions on the racetrack.
Yeah, and you know, Blake, he's part-time. He's not racing for points. He's not racing for anything towards any championships. So Blake's probably just taking it easy, just kind of filling everything out for this first stage, and he'll fill it out for the second stage, and then he'll make his run, because he's just racing for money tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As right now, Adam Newbert goes to the inside of Jose Luis Rivera. These are two drivers that are racing for money and championships. This is a red versus blue battle here. Shout out to all those Halo fans watching along with us here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. That battle's going to cool down for just a second, though. Jose Luis Rivera, I have to say, Brady, biggest surprise of the season, though, he has a battle, though, as Adam Newbert goes to the inside. The four trying to make waves here tonight at the Rock. They're side by side around 3 and 4. This is a battle. Oh, no, they make contact on the front stretch, Brady. Oh, my goodness. Into one they go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jose just needs to let this go right here. He tends to kind of push a little bit harder than what he needs to. I know he doesn't want to get freight trained right here, Will, but, you know, you could also do a lot more harm than good by just, you know, giving up this spot right here and just trying to settle back in.
Yeah, this is a battle for a top 3. It looks like Adam Newton's going to want in on this party as well. As a kid in middle school who didn't get invited to a lot of parties, Adam Newton feels like me right now. He wants to be invited. He'll just make his own party as he gets by the 20 to the inside right there. Robbie Richards wants to play as well. The 48 right there. Devin Painter in the 99 is on the tail of Robbie Richards. Jose Luis Rivera, but watch out. He's about to lose 3 or 4 positions on the racetrack.
Yeah, and, you know, Robbie Richards has the position. It looks like he's going to eventually get clear here. He should drive it down into 3. Looks like he does. He's going to push up a little bit, but he should be able to take that spot from Jose. And if Jose can find somewhat of a gap in between Robbie and Devin and Pena right there behind him, just kind of settle in right there.
Yeah, Chuck's looking a little bit more squirrely on the racetrack here. 40 laps into this race. About 11 laps to go here in stage number 1. Lap 50 will be the end of stage number 1. There goes Joey Doucette in that 16. So leading the way here, Brady. Let's see if anybody will have anything for that 16. 41 laps in. Another battle rages on here into 1.
Yeah, and it looks like Adam's putting some pressure on Keith right here, so he was saving some tire along with his teammate right there, Adam Newton, in the 82 machine. And wow, it looked like Adam almost got in the back of Keith right there. Well, we'll have to wait and see if Keith's going to kind of, you know, fight for this position, or, you know, he might end up letting Adam go right here.
As we watch this battle right now, Adam Newbert and Adam Newton right there. As I mentioned, Brady, it's always a battle between the Adams, but they're to the inside of Keith Bradley, the animal, the 29. They're almost door to door here in stage number 1. A bit surprising to see these dogs scrapping it out here very early on.
Absolutely, but like we said earlier, there's a lot on the line. You know, you could go into Talladega and finish that race and be 1 point, and you look back at this race and say, man, I wish I would have, you know, gotten, you know, 7 points instead of 6 points in that first stage. So it's a lot of pressure right here, this first one. You know, you want to stay in the game, you want to, you know, get maximized points and whatnot, but at the same time you want to have to be able to finish the race too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the biggest race of the season. I mentioned it when we kicked off the broadcast here tonight. And of course, when we go to the championship race, that's the biggest race of the season. But I feel like as far as your season goes here, Brady, I think this is it for a lot of guys. Either you perform well here tonight or win the race, or Talladega might be it for you. As you mentioned, we reset the points here, so if you have a bad race here tonight and then have to rely on Talladega, we know what it's going to be like at Talladega. We haven't seen a race that hasn't been clean at Talladega in a very long time. Down the backstretch we go here, 45 laps into this race. So for the likes of Joey Doucette, Adam Newbert, and Adam Newton, you get that golden ticket into the championship round. You can relax next week.
Yeah, and you know, when they go to Talladega, and I almost said we because I feel like, you know, as a driver, you know, you always talk that way, but as we see a caution come out. We'll get back to that one in a second. Let's figure out what the caution was with.
Yeah, first caution at the Rock here tonight. Took us a while here. Looks like it's going to involve the 99, Devin Payne here as we check out this replay. He's going to come off the corner. Just off of 2 here down the backstretch. No, we're going to jump to see, it might be the 43 truck of Blake Lothian here. You'll be watching along with us here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Yep, there it is. There's Blake Lothian. It looks like he comes in contact with her. It's hard to see who that was there.
That was the 48 of Robbie Richards, one of our top 10 drivers racing in the Elite 10.
Yeah, he was inside the top 10 when that occurred. We look at where Blake Lothian was on the racetrack. We're going to slow it down for the folks at home here. Check out what happens here. Maybe the 43 just comes into the corner just a little bit too hot. Tries to drift up the racetrack. Doesn't see the 48 there, Brady. And the 48's just, I'd say, in the wrong place in the wrong time at the top side of the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. Robbie was just an innocent bystander there. Blake just wanted to kind of get in there a little too hot, and his truck pushed up, you know, with 48 laps on their tires. You know, that's how it kind of goes. And I believe this is going to be our stage in because the guys are pitting. So Joey Doucette's going to get that stage win and get those 10 points. So he's you can already say that he's the points leader with 2,010 points, Will.
Ooh, every little bit counts here in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. So we watch these trucks come off of pit road. I guess with that break in the action, we'll take our first break here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We'll be right back for the drop of the green flag in stage number 2 of the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200. Welcome back, everybody, here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We just saw the conclusion of stage number 1 here in the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200. Joey Doucette gets the stage number 1 victory. But now we are joined by another co-host of the evening, usually a driver here at Nazareth, going to join us here tonight. Michael McKinnon, man, you saw that wreck here up here in the booth. You broke it down for us at home. A key aspect that we didn't think about here in this broadcast.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. This track has a ton of bumps. A ton of bumps, and it looked to me like Blake got in. He probably got into bumps a little bit, pushed up, and unfortunate for Robbie right there.
As we watch the pace truck pull off, Joey Doucette will take us to the drop of the green flag. He has Adam Newbert to his inside, and here we go. We're rocking and rolling down to corner number 1. Joey Doucette picks up where he left off in stage number 1.
And a great job right there by Joey that first stage. He got out in front, and he controlled the pace of the race, and he still had enough tire to hold off Keith. And even though Adam was charging late, I still don't think if Adam gets by Keith, he doesn't pass Joey with the amount of laps left. So just a great job by Joey right there. And, he's got his 10 points, so he's up in the front.
Yeah, we'll see what Adam can do right here. I think he went a little bit too hard too early. I think he'll learn from that. We'll see if he makes an adjustment and can put on a little better charge right here at the end of this stage.
Whoa, as we see a big wiggle out of Adam Newbert there in the 4. You see that tail slide. And Michael, I wanted to ask you here as we're into 1 and 2, we're going to come off of 2 down the backstretch here. You see an extra 10 laps here in the stage. What kind of difference does an extra 10 laps make?
Well, as you saw the first stage, Blake got tight right there. I would expect guys to get a little loose right here unless they've learned. Throttle time, trying to get up off the corner, get the tires greasy, you might see a lot more of those tail wiggles you just saw.
Yeah, as right now the battles are heating up here towards the top side of the grid. Single file here down the backstretch, Brady, as we're into 3 and 4. A little bit of a calm pace here to kick off stage number 2.
Absolutely. And we were talking about Talladega earlier. These guys, everybody goes into that race, knowing that they have a shot at winning it because it's just a free-for-all. Sometimes it's an amount of, just trying to survive the race, but everybody goes into that race with, being able to saying that they have a shot to win it. So just because, Robbie Richards has a couple of super speedway wins under his belt at Nazareth. So just because you see him get involved in that doesn't mean that he can't go out there next week and win that race.
Well, and I think like you said a while ago, Brady, we're seeing a few guys we would expect at the front. We're not seeing them yet. I think they're trying to survive this to maximize points because they do know how big of a crapshoot next week will be.
Absolutely. And I am seeing some of the guys that's not highlighted. For the people at home, I'm going to announce the top 10 drivers that we're talking about. That's Adam Newbert in the 4, Keith Bradley in the 29, Chris Cinnamon in the 3, Joey Doucette in the 16, Stephen Thomas in the 23. Christopher Blanchard is not here tonight. He's in the 9 machine for Upfront Motorsports. Robbie Richards, who we saw in that accident in the 48, Jacob Klinghart in the 5, Jose Luis Rivera in the 20, and Cody Knott for Warrior Racing Esports in that 26 machine. That's your top 10 that's fighting for the championship 6 spots.
Yeah, Brady, in that battle for the lead, as you were telling the folks at home, that top 10 was very, very nerve-wracking right there. Those top 3, don't care what lap it is. Right up there, we have some dogs fighting it out for the penthouse position. Also, another big mover so far in this race is the 88 of Ashley Dotson. I'd have to say a driver that's been very under the radar this season, making waves. So the 88 up 10 spots with the drop of the green flag here as we're into 3 and 4, 59 laps into this race.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brady, talking about Ashley there, our brother from Australia. When it comes to the driver track, you're going to see him in the front. And what I'm seeing is Devin Painter got good reports from the pits. His tire wear was good, and he's really getting after it right here, beginning of stage 2.
Yep, that's no problem. That's exactly who I was going to touch on right there, Devin Painter. you know, he got knocked out of the last round, but he's still going to show up tonight, even though he's no longer eligible for the championship, the top 6. But he's going to play spoiler tonight before you know it, because he is coming.
He is coming indeed. Another driver that's coming indeed is the 3 machine of Chris Cinnamon. He's up 3 spots from the drop of the green flag. Chris won last week's race, which gave him that automatic pass into this week's event. He had no worries coming in here. He knew he was locked into the Elite 10. Wants to make it happen here again right now inside the top 10 early on in stage number 2.
Yeah, and Chris reminds me of, they call Kevin Harvick the closer. That's Chris Cinnamon. He's going to feel it out, learn it, figure it out, and then you can guarantee he will be there by the end of this race.
A very calm pace here, and I like to think of stage number 2 here, 63 laps, and it's that experimental stage, guys. It's the stage that these drivers get to know what kind of wear they can put on the tires, how long they can push it. Michael, you touched on it. The extra 10 laps going to put a little extra wiggle into these trucks here. I think a lot of these drivers will head down pit road at the end of this stage, maybe even a little bit sooner, maybe feel out what that pit window is like. Because that long stretch to end this race here tonight, 90 laps, Michael, what's that going to be like with all those green flag pit stops, all those strategies that come into play?
Well, there's a couple things that'll come in. If it takes a live pit stop, this is a very, very tight pit road, and you're coming right off the bumps on the bottom. You're going to have hot tires. That's going to be an issue for them, probably, you know, somebody slide through the box. It's going to be several issues. If you're going to commit to the bottom, you have to commit. But I got to think everybody's going to start to migrate. Did you see how Devin, he's diamonding the corner, high in, low off? To me, that's the way to do it. It'll get you around the bumps on the very bottom and get you the best runoff out of the corner.
Yeah, and Michael, you touched on it. Those bumps, we can see the front end of now our race leader, the 99 of Devin Painter, bouncing around the racetrack. What other track has these bumps like this? All these tracks getting resurfaced, re-asphalted. This track, the Rock, still has those natural bumps in it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of tracks that will compare to this one. California comes to mind. Auto Club's very, very bumpy, but it's mostly in the straights. This gets you right in corner entry. As you enter, your truck wants to skitter up. You try to catch that, then you get loose off. Then you're in real trouble. That's why you're seeing everybody try to stay a little high as they enter each corner.
Yeah, I would say Auto Club and also Vegas just a little bit. You can get into the bumps in certain spots on those tracks, and it'll push up the truck. And if you have somebody on the outside of you, it could get real bad in a hurry.
And now we see the 99 go a little bit high side on the racetrack. He's going to go down the backstretch here in lap 68 right now. The 99 is not a truck we usually see at the top of the grid, folks, to be completely up front. But good for Devin Painter. And Brady, you touched on it, got eliminated from the championship rounds last week. Dust his shoulder off. He said, I'm going to give it another go here this week. I'm here for the money. In the 99 wants to get paid here tonight. He's getting the job done with some fast laps.
Yeah, and it's kind of a catch-22 for Devin to be in this position. We're hitting lap 70 here, and Joey and Keith's going to study exactly what he's doing right now and learn from what he's doing of how he got up to the front to lead this race. So I wouldn't really show my hand just yet because we still have 130 laps to go, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think an interesting story to me here early on in this race in stage number 2 as we watch the 99 go into 3 and 4. Interesting story to me, guys, up here in the booth is the 82 machine of Adam Newton down 15 spots from the drop of the green flag down to 17th position. We saw the 82 battling out for the lead inside the top 5. He started up there as well. I'm curious to see. It looks like he has a little bit of damage on that back bumper.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead, Brady. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm gonna go maybe look back at a couple of laps because I'm in the session and see if we can figure that out. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, the thing with Adam, what I noticed, he was dead committed to the bottom, and that thing we were talking about. If he's fairly new to the league, I don't know how much he's ran here. You would think the bottom would be it. But it also makes you very tight out of one. And as we said, the bumps can mess you up. He probably had a little tire wear issue. He's probably just fighting the truck a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely is right now. 73 laps into this race. You'll start to see these trucks get a little bit more loose, but right now Devin Payne leading the way in the 99. Joey Doucette right there as well in second. Keith Bradley, the animal, is right there in third. Ashley Dotson fourth. Adam Newbert will round out our top five, single file into the corner right now. Michael, as we head towards that front stretch, are you surprised at how calm this race has been with only one on-track caution so far?
I am not. As I said, Talladega is next week. These guys have got reset points. They're dead even. They know they have to survive this race. They have to survive. So they're going to watch their P's and Q's. They're going to take their chances when they come. It's going to seem like it's a little, give and take right now. It's probably not as much as you think. We're waiting on the tire wear. We're in a lap about 23 since we dropped the green, maybe 25. You'll start to see the tires there. Action's going to pick up soon.
Yeah,
For sure.
Bill and Mike, I found it. It was lap 57, coming off of 4. Adam Newton got loose on his own and lost it and went to the grass on the front straightaway.
There we go. We got the inside scoop from the boss man himself. It was just a Lone Ranger incident there for the Adam Newton in the 82. Boy, that is confusing getting those Adams. Those last names are very close as well, guys, as we watch this race rage on down the backstretch.
Yep, and
Yeah.
he was running 5th at the time.
Yeah, and that just shows you how tricky this track is. We know Adam's talent. That's why he was brought on board here. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I am absolutely shocked with Jose Rivera right now. As Brady said earlier, he's one that lives a hard charge. He's showing some really good patience, running a really good line right now, and able to hold his speeds thus far.
Yeah, and I think Jose Luis Rivera is one of those drivers that we were watching last week, or whether or not he was going to make this Elite 10. One of those drivers whose seasons kind of went south, came in with a lot of promise, was in the top 5 to start off these playoff races, guys. And then things kind of got out of hand. I would say a couple bad finishes, plus 25 finishes for that 20 machine. Not what we're used to seeing. Right now, he's inside the top 10, doing everything he needs to do to put his 20 machine in that championship 6, but he has to do more right now on the outside looking in.
As I said, he always has speed. There's never been an issue with his speed. It's sometimes patience, aggression. Once he gets the hold of that, which, like I said tonight, looks real good off the corners, not pushing up. He's going to battle well from here on out. Last week, I know he got caught up early, really cost him a lot of points.
Yeah, if we could ride on board with the 23 machine of Stephen Thomas, we'll watch this battle from a courtside seat. We'll watch him take on the 20 of Jose Luis Rivera. If we could see that wheel movement from the 23 and watch those bumps that Michael was touching on here into the corners, you're going to see a little bit of the wheel. See how it bounces right there, Michael, and you see he's going to try to make a pass at the same time. For the folks at home that haven't done this simulator, that maybe haven't taken on the rock, maybe they've done iRacing before, that's it. That's the perfect shot right there. How difficult is it to make sure your truck stays low, but also fighting those bumps here at the rock?
Well, of course, it's a difficult challenge. If you haven't tried the sim, everybody thinks, well, then there you go. Steven diving in, hit the bump straight up the track. It's a real fine balance of, you're on the brakes, you're on the wheel, you're sliding. It's real hard in a sim to kind of feel when you first start to slide. It's real easy after you figure that out, but when you slide, you really can't feel it right away, and it's hard to catch. I can't stress enough how hard it is over the bumps at this track, especially if the track temps up at all.
And you see right there, Stephen Thomas prefers that low side lane, but you see what he has to deal with there, Michael. That truck is just bouncing up and down around those bumps. It's almost like an off-road race, but definitely we are on asphalt here tonight. He's trying to get around Jose Luis Rivera. He's also bumping around this track. Boy, it's a very, very cool aspect of iRacing that folks don't really look at or really pay attention to. Right now, this battle has been raging on for a few laps. The 20 machine is doing a great job of holding down that 6th position.
Absolutely, and like Mike said earlier, Jose's showing a lot of patience and showing a lot of maturity right now. And, like we said earlier, these stage points, Joey has 10. you know, you win another stage, that's 20 points. These guys in the back that finished 9th and 10th in the stage, that's already 18 points that they're losing. So you gotta push it to get up here in the top 10 and get some stage points for these top 10 drivers that's racing for this championship. But at the same time, you can't push it enough to where you burn up your stuff. So, like I said earlier, Mike and Will, it's a catch-22.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's a game. You want to get the points. Of course, you want to make passes. But as you folks at home saw a second ago, you dive it in here and you catch a bump wrong, and there you go. Steven just lost the rear of the truck again, and Jose's going to get the drive off the corner. He's not going to. I don't think he's going to make the pass, but he got a heck of an exit from how he was sliding right there.
Yeah, this makes me very nervous. Into 3 and 4, the 20 just got a little loose off of 2. They're side by side off of 4 here down the front stretch. This is a battle, folks, at home for the 6th position on the racetrack. My goodness, almost made contact once again. The 23 is just having the toughest of time making that tire stick on the inside. Right now, Joey Doucette's starting to lose some ground at the top of the grid, though. You just saw that run into 3 and 4, guys.
Yeah, Brady, I mean, we can speak to how good Keith is on these types of tracks, and it seems he's even having a little tough time tonight. Oh, he's in the wall right there. I mean, just a little bit of a tough time tonight. I'm not sure exactly what the track temp is, but it's got to be up a little bit I would have thought Keith would have just driven to the front.
Yeah, and, you know, you never know the track conditions like you were saying earlier, and you never know if he's just trying to fill everything out. From that first stage to the second stage, we run the dynamic weather setting, so it changes throughout the run, throughout the race. So there's a lot of times I've been in the sim where I know you have too, and you run that first stage, and man, this battle with the 23 of Stephen Thomas and Jose just won't go away. But you know, you run this run, you do the first run, and the truck feels perfectly fine to you, and then the second run, you're like, man, what's going on with this truck? So. It's definitely a changing as you go.
Yeah, it could be anything from temperature to cloud cover, and what Steven's dealing with right now is just he knows he's quicker. He knows he's quicker. Let's see if he can stick it this time. He's just going to drive through the bumps that time instead of trying to break into the bumps, and was able to pull the slider there.
Oh, man, but you saw it right there, Michael. Once he got around, the 20 tried to put that nose in front of the 20 machine. Big wiggle out of the 23. He almost collected himself there with that move. Everything chills down there for that battle for 6. But here comes Ashley Dawson in the 88 machine. He's up to 3rd, guys. Or 4th position, excuse me. We see Devin Painter. I forget Devin Painter's our leader because he is checked out by almost 2 seconds on the rest of the field. This is a battle for 2nd. We're watching down in the corner.
Yeah, and this could get real interesting here, Joe. He's not one that's wanting to give up points. Oh, Keith with a huge wiggle. I got the wall again. Ashley just barely trying to escape there. He might be able to get Keith right here. Keith's really struggling with the handling on that.
Yeah, and you see he keeps trying to drift up the racetrack there. Doesn't want to do that. Michael, you don't want to make contact with the topside wall. That is not your friend here tonight, as the 88 Ashley Dawson's going to keep that nose to the inside. He's going to keep Keith Bradley from coming down the racetrack, and what an awesome move that is. But no, he's going to follow right back behind the 29 into 3 and 4. This is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th into 3 and 4 right now. 93 laps into the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200 here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. Into 1 and 2, I am William Tillett, of course, joined by Brady LaBeouf and Michael McKinnon, special guest here tonight. Adam Flieger is the man providing all these excellent shots here tonight. We're just about to the end of stage number 2, guys. What's standing out so far here in this stage? Been very clean, no caution so far.
Well, for me, it's the patience guys are showing. Now, Keith just learned a little something right there, if you didn't notice. He pulled right up to Joey. He didn't go quite as high in 3 and 4. Ashley here has obviously saved tires pretty well. You watch his wheel, he's not struggling with it too much. But what I did notice, these tires are going away because Ashley, the last time down the straightaway, was wiggling down the straight. So these things are getting a little greasy, a little slick to hold on to right now.
Absolutely, and yes, Keith did get into a wall there earlier. Again, it looked like coming off a 2, and Ashley has shown a lot of patience. I know he's he's definitely wanting to get around these two guys right here. I know he's had some bad runs here the past couple of weeks, but you know, sometimes you Mike, and you know, you have this, you know, just like me, you got to figure out how to race these races. You know, they're 200 laps. You can't win it on lap 30.
No, I mean, that's 100% the case, and you can see the drive-off actually has. He's done a better job of keeping, I say that, and he's wiggling, but...
Oh, man.
That was crazy. He's done a little better job of saving his rear tires. He's able to get off the corner a little better if he's got, you know, mid to high, and Keith's not going to roll over for him here, so we'll see how well he's been able to preserve, but you can see the wiggle down the straight.
Oh, man, these four hogs are going at it here on the racetrack. Of course, Ashley Dotson, the driver, oh my goodness, almost did it to me again up here in the booth. Just threw that tail in front of the 29 of Keith Bradley into 3 and 4. Ashley Dotson looks like a man on a mission. Boy, in the words of NBA Jam, he is on fire right now as the 88 comes scorching across the start-finish line into 1 and 2. He's got his sight set on Devin Painter. A long way to go, though, guys. 3 seconds separates our leader from second place as we're down the backstretch.
Yeah, Devin's done an amazing job with, you know, pacing this run. You know, it's essentially a 60-lap run. So Devin's done an incredible job of controlling this stage and basically controlling this race.
Brady, you race as much as I do. Are you surprised how loose Ashley is and still getting that much runoff off the corner? That's incredible.
Well, I know the track temp's 93 degrees. So he saved so much in the beginning. It surprises me, but then it doesn't surprise me. And I think it's going to hurt him these last 9 laps to try to catch Painter. But, you know, you want to position yourself for the final run like Ashley has done. So great job by him on his throttle control, but it does surprise me a little. But then I know how I've raced with Ashley. He's a great driver. He's also very aggressive, so it's nice to see him have a good run here tonight.
Yeah, it's always good to see him. I mean, he's up in the middle of the night, everybody over in Australia right now, just to put on a show for everybody, and he's always fast, as we said. He's been fast since we've raced with him for 3 years. I mean, he's always quick, and he's always improving.
Absolutely. As that 88 carries us into 3 and 4, we have now officially cracked the century mark here at the Millie's Restaurant and Catering. 200 here has been a fantastic race so far. And guys, what stood out to me here as we watch Adam Newbert right now, he's going to caress the 16 of Joey Doucette right there. That's going to be 4th and 5th. Joey Doucette in the 16 slipped just a little bit here in this race. But what stands out to me, guys, is all our 3 out of our 4 drivers that are on the outside looking in have been inside and outside of the top 10 all race long. That's how close this is going to come to finding out who's going to be in that championship 6 come next week.
And there's one truck at the end of this run I've been watching sneak, and that's Kyle Hess. He is all the way up to 7th place. He's always conserving those tires, always thinking about what he's going to do. And he's worked himself right into the top 10. He's not a playoff driver, and that's okay. We got to highlight when they're having a good run, because Kyle right now is going to put himself in a position on this long run to make a difference toward the end of this.
Yeah, and I think, Michael, you just touched on it there. I think those are the scariest drivers on the racetrack, the drivers that aren't racing for championships. And it's not the fact that they have, nothing to lose in that sense, because you have a lot to lose. You still have to pay an entry fee just like every other driver, but you can also get paid just like every other driver, Michael. So that's the incentive to keep coming week in and week out. Although you're not going to be crowned a champion and all that's cool, I think it's less stress for those drivers that don't have to race for that. But there's a caution flag out on the racetrack here in the late stages of stage number 2, only our second on-track caution of the night.
Was that the stage break, or did we have an accident?
Check it out here. I believe stage break was going to be on lap 110.
Okay, I got in late. I'm sorry about that.
No, we'll see what brought out that caution, though. We're not seeing anything on the racetrack just yet. See if there was a truck that may have been collected by themselves here. We'll wait that replay. Looks like we have Hartwick down pit road there in the 94 machine. And we'll see if that's the truck that was involved in that. Here we go. Here's that replay for the folks at home. Yeah, there it is right there, Michael. We've been watching that brew for a couple laps. Trucks are starting to drift up the racetrack. That's what happens in the 94.
Was that Eric Zimmerman right there, right in front of the leaders, and took out Keith Bradley?
Oh, that's
That
Zimmerman.
is
That is Zimmerman.
unbelievable.
Hartworks in the 93, just a number off there, Michael, but that is the 94. Zimmerman just collects. Oh, man. That's Keith Bradley he collects there. Unfortunately, there goes Adam Newbert. Oh, does Joey Doucette get away from that clean? Oh, man. What a shake-up to tonight's race. And Michael, break it down from a driver's point of view. You see Zimmerman there. He's already shooting way up into the middle of that corner.
Yeah, that's just completely overdriving the corner. I don't know if he had some new tires. Eric likes to do different pit strategies. Not real sure, but that was not a good corner entry, let's just say, and way too hot and unfortunate for the leaders. Dotson might have got a little piece, but he got away. But for Keith, that's definitely going to be some damage on pit road.
And that's very unfortunate. Go ahead, Brady.
Wow. No, I'm just, I'm surprised. I'm speechless. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's real unfortunate right there. I mean, that's one of your main players that you expect to be in the next round, and let's hope he's able to get it fixed. As long as it's not right side front, maybe he'd still be under full power. It's not a super aero track. He'd be okay.
Yeah, and we'll wait final confirmation to see if that brings an end to the stage. It's very close there, guys. We'll have to wait and see. But now here we're taking a look at the official point standings here. That's our Elite 10 on the screen. Joey Doucette, Chris Cinnamon, Keith Bradley, who we just saw him get collected. Unfortunately, Adam Newbert there as well. Stephen Thomas. Chris Blanchard's going to miss tonight's race. So what that's going to do, folks at home, that's going to open up a spot for those three drivers below him to potentially have a shot, or even Cody Knott next week could win Talladega and be in that championship 6. So a lot of things to watch out for here in these next 90 laps or so.
Yeah, that is the beautiful part of you win it, get enough points. I guess it's when you're in Charlotte, I'm assuming, the next two, and that's the beautiful part. Anybody can win Talladega. That's what makes it so exciting next week.
Yeah, and Brady, you talked about it as a boss man yourself. You sort of gave it a good laugh. You love the fact that you set it up for Talladega to be that money race, sort of say, to put you in the championship race. What is it about the high banks that either drivers really love or don't love here as we're under caution here at the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200?
Well, excuse me. I'm going to say that like I said earlier, everybody has an opportunity. Everybody has a shot going into that race to win it. But everybody, I guess, hates the unknown of how that race is going to play out. Is it going to be very aggressive at the beginning? Is the big one going to happen on lap 3 or 4? What's going to happen during that race and the chain of events that's going to lead to the outcome of if you get in the championship 6 or not?
And Brady, looks like we are going to race out the stage here, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like Ashley Dotson, Devin Painter will roll off 1-2 here. What a crazy end of the stage this is going to be as the pace lights are off of the pace truck. If I'm not mistaken, this will be essentially green-white checker to end the stage as Devin Painter and Ashley Dotson will take the top of the green flag into corner number 1.
Good jump by Devin right there, able to pull away. We'll see. I'm assuming they're going to race it out, but that's past 110, so I'm not sure. If Devin can control this for a while, it ought to set him up good for the pit stop later. And if I'm not mistaken, they also still have 3 sets of tires.
As we watch it play out, it looked like the stage did end there. Devin Painter is going to take us down into the corner single file here in this field. 111 laps in so far. Jose Luis Rivera right there on your screen. The 20 machine currently in the top 5. We'll see at those results at the end of that stage, Michael. That could be huge implications for next week's race at Talladega.
Yeah, because that's going to cost Keith Bradley some points. That's going to cost a few people some points they may need. And a couple guys to watch right here. I noticed Adam Newton drove back from 17th back up to 7th or 7th or 8th.
Whoa.
Then, as I said, Kyle Hess, watch for him. We're seeing Raul Meza work into here. The racing is going to pick up from here on out.
Yeah, these drivers getting a little squirrely on the racetrack. They've headed down pit road on lap 107. So fresh Goodyear Eagles on all these trucks, gassed up, ready to rock and roll here. I'm sure we'll see those green flag pit stops ensue once again. These drivers, though, know that they cannot waste any time here at the Rock with all the bumps and the yellow flags. I think we're going to see here towards the end, you have to make your way up into that clean air as fast as possible. They're going to catch the 99, who has been an absolute rails right now as he makes another lap lead down into 1.
Yeah, Painter continues to dominate this race, and yeah, it's that caution did complete the second stage, Will and Mike. So they are on the third stage, and Keith did get credited for a third place in that stage. So
there we go.
It's not the end of the world. If I was him, he's already back in 11th. Just regroup, calm down, and just get as much as you can in this final run. Plenty of laps left to go. The fuel runs 68 laps. They're going to have to make green flag stops if it goes green the rest of the way. So just kind of calm down, take a deep breath for Keith, and just kind of keep moving up and moving forward.
So we could potentially see a big undercut here because you can go almost to lap 180, but the window will open at probably 160 for a lot of guys if they want to take it. So that's going to get real interesting. Here's Joey making a power move on the bottom. Tires feeling good. He's see if he can get a little cleaner air on the nose and try to get away and go catch Devin.
And guys, I'm watching these lap times up here in the booth. Some of the fastest lap times of the entire race. But right there, Ashley Dotson is so fast out of 4. He couldn't control that bucking Bronco. He had to get the hands back on that wheel to control it as he had Adam Newbert to his inside here. 118 laps into this race down the backstretch here. Keeping an eye on this top 5 here. It's been the same play as up here in the top 5. Let's see what shakes out here as we're off of 4 across that start-finish line. Make it 119 into 1.
And Brady, are you surprised watching 3 and 4 that other guys haven't taken that Painter line yet? You see Joey trying this time, but man, he goes in high and comes out low both ends of the track, and other guys are just digging on the bottom.
Yeah, and it's also it's tough for some guys whenever you don't know if they're rolling it in, if they're braking, what they're doing to make their truck do that. So I think Joe's just trying to figure it out. And we just went through almost a 60-lap run right there. These guys don't have to do that in the final run. They can almost break this in half and do like a 42 run. We've got 80 laps to go, 81 laps. So they can kind of, pit here at lap 160, like you said earlier, kind of break it in half and just keep doing what they're doing, pushing it hard. I know Joey's going to try to catch Devin right here to kind of stay close to him during those stops, those green flag pit stops, that is. But yeah, it's tough for some guys if you don't know how they're doing to make the truck roll in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% correct. If we all knew how to do it, we'd all be up at the front, right? So Devin's got something figured out. Plus, he also has the best looking paint scheme on the track. If I must say, come out of my paint shop, feel good about it.
Oh yes, Mike always does some great paint scheme.
Good plug right there from Mike up here in the booth. Is right now we see Keith Bradley. He's taking on some fire as Adam Newton's back up into the mix there in the 82 machine. Raul Meza right there as well. We see the blue paint scheme. Can't miss that Hendrick Motorsports blue of Jacob Blinkart right there in the 5. Trying to put his name in the mix. Let's say there's a lot of drivers here in the Triple M pulling truck series that might be overshadowed by other names. Jacob Klinkart's one of those. He's quietly had one of the most successful seasons this year and could be one of our Championship 6.
Yeah, Jacob's, he's as fast as anybody on the track at all times. He's got the same problem as a lot of us, same as me, same as everyone. When your truck's good, you want to go like crazy. But if your brain would tell you, hey, be patient, sometimes it'll make you quicker. What we're seeing is Keith Bradley is not hurt. I don't think he's really coming through the pack. We're seeing Newton move forward, Robbie Richards moving forward. So those guys have got some damage repair and are able to stay around the top 10.
Yeah, and right behind him in that 12th position, Robbie Richards. You just touched on another one of those drivers that are on the outside looking in, I'd say, for the 48. He's just caught bad breaks along the way. We look down that grid to look at some of the other drivers on the outside looking in. Everybody's above there. We go looks at of Jose Luis Rivera right there in the 20. He's in the mix. Everybody who's on the outside looking in, still in the mix here in this race with about just over 70 laps to go.
I'll be right back, fellas. I got to take care of something real quick.
Yeah, but like you were saying, Will, just as we see Cody Knott in the 26 machine, great driver, made it to the top 10. So I'm trying to see, I know we don't have all of them highlighted on the ticker for the people at home to see. Cody's didn't get any stage points, so he's behind the A-ball on most of these drivers up here. So he's going to have a great showing at Talladega. He's going to be one of the guys. Robbie Richards, I don't know if he got any stage points that last stage. So a lot of these guys are putting themselves in the hole early on in this race, middle part of the race, I should say, to where they're going to have a great showing at Talladega next week.
Yeah, and looking at those battles just inside the top 10, that's where everything's heating up right there. Looking at the likes of Raul Meza in the 37, Adam Newton in the 82, Stephen Thomas right there as well, all bunched up to stay inside the top 10 here on 129 into the corner. You see the 82 to Adam Newton. He's going to try to the inside of Stephen Thomas in the 23. Run on a racetrack there to the inside down the backstretch. Chris Cinnamon's leading this haul of drivers into 3 and 4. Chris Cinnamon coming off a huge win last week. Brady right now trying to make his way up the grid. He's up 6 spots from the drop of the green flag, trying to use some of that clean air energy. Old Canadian driver here in this field.
Absolutely, and I think you're going to see everybody kind of push it right here. They're trying to catch up to those leaders and whatnot, set themselves up because, we're 10, 15 laps away. I would say we would see some guys start making those pit stops.
Whoa, that was close right there. Stephen Thomas gets around the 3 of Chris Cinnamon there. Boy, Brady, that move every time makes me so nervous when a driver blindly puts that tail in front of the front bumper of another driver right there. Oh my goodness, we just saw it there off of 2. That move every time is so close, and it's just a minimal, just the inches away from disaster for all these drivers here. Of course, no fast repairs here in Nazareth, but Stephen Thomas in the 23 is trying to make his way up there, back from where he started this race in the 6th position, but he's got some ways to go. About a second between him and Jose Luis Rivera for top 5.
Yeah, but guys like Chris, Stephen Thomas, Keith, we got a caution out. You say those moves make you nervous. Oh, Robbie Richard in the 48.
No. And that is not what we want to see here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. The 48 machine of Robbie Richards. Oh, hard nose first contact into the inside wall on the backstretch. Oof. Man, you hate to see it, folks. He was all by himself there as well.
Yeah, it looked like he got loose chasing up the track. Sorry, fellas, I had to take care of a little snake removal from the back porch there, so we're back.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate for Robbie there. He's going to be one of those guys. It just skims the wall and it just gets him. Yeah. You can't make mistakes like that at Rockingham and not pay the price on hitting. And you see a couple of guys get a little bit of damage in his rear end. You're going to pay the price whenever you come off the wall like that on turn 2 and hit that inside wall. So he's just going to be in survivor mode, get as many points as he can the rest of the way. But it seems like Robbie's going to be in one of those do or die situations for Talladega next week. And, this is the window right here. So they're going to be able to make it to the end from this point. So this is going to be pretty much their last stop unless we see some strategy at the end.
Yeah, Michael, I'll ask you from a driver's point of view, what are these drivers focusing on here on this final pit stop?
Well, of course, you want first thing first is don't speed. Let's get in the box correctly. If people don't understand this stuff with iRacing, it's you slide a little deep in your box, you're slow, you're losing spots. You're too far right, you're losing spots. First thing first, get in the box, get the service done, get back up to speed, get on track. Then after this, this is another thing people probably don't understand about iRacing if they're just watching. Tire pressures will be down at the beginning of the run right here. These trucks will be loose for about 3 to 4 laps. So some guys will try to throw it in. It won't work. Some guys will try to throw it in. It will work. I think they're going to get as much track position as possible in the first 5 to 6 laps of this race. This will probably be the most heated restart you've seen all day.
Very interesting, Brady, and I'll ask you almost the same question here. What do you expect here on that restart to go off of what Michael was saying? Probably one of the most action-packed restarts we're going to see all night, especially with how many laps it's going to take these trucks to get going once again.
Yeah, well, you know, like we said, that was the money stop potentially, and this might be your last shot at going after Devin Painter. So you're gonna see. I would expect it to be very, very aggressive. You're positioning yourself for this last run of the race. So I would expect for guys like Joey, Adam, even Jose up there, Ashley, they're going to be pushing the issue as we see Adam Newbert. Oh, no, that's a little fake out. Well, he got us. But yeah, you're gonna be fighting for everything right here on this last restart, because this might be the chance to win the race.
Yeah, it looks like everything is just getting sorted out here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Let's go over our grid as we have this break in the action. As you just alluded to, the 99, Devin Painter, our race leader. Joey Doucette's currently second right there to his inside. We look at Adam Newbert up there as well. Jose Luis Rivera will be our top 4. We also look at Stephen Thomas in 5th. Ashley Dotson, the 88, up to 6th, up 10 spots since dropping the green flag. Keith Bradley up to 7th. Adam Newton 8th. Jacob Klinkart 9th. And Chris Cinnamon is in 10th.
Yeah, cream always rises here toward the end. You start to see all the playoff guys in contention. And if this goes the distance, fellas, I want to look at, of course, Painter. He's been fantastic, but somebody needs to get in front of him and try to get some dirty air on his nose just to make him change his line a little bit. And we'll see if that happens right here.
Well, here we go. Let's rock and roll once again. Green flag is in the air, and Devin Painter in the 99 roars once again into corner number 1, and already a battle for 3rd is raging on into 2 right now. Jose Luis Rivera on the top side, Adam Newbert on the low side here down the backstretch right here. 1 lap under green. It sorts out Jose up to 3rd, right behind the back bumper of Joey Doucette in the 16. Adam Newbert there on the top side. He's trying to follow suit as well. 1 lap under green, guys, and as you touched on, things already crazy 1 lap in.
Oh yeah, it's all about track position. We've seen it's really hard to pass today, so they're going to get all they can get right here.
And you know, I'm not counting out Keith Bradley just yet. He's moving up. I believe he's running there in 6th right now. He's making a move on the outside. I don't think anybody really has anything for Painter. I think he's the guy that's going to, you know, control this race and potentially go on to win it. But, you know, 2nd, 3rd, it's all up for grabs as you see them all bunched up right here.
Yeah, Brady, you know what it's like to race and upset Keith Bradley. It's no fun. Man's already fast. You just don't want to give him any incentive to be faster, right?
Oh, as the animal's trying to eat up another spot right there. Sorry, guys. Going to go to the inside of the 23 of Stephen Thomas. Going to go a little BOGO action here into the corner. Going to try to make it 2 for 1. Going to try to get by the 88. Ashley Dotson's going to lose racetrack right there. He's going to have to follow back behind the 88. Here comes Jacob Klinkart to the inside around 3 and 4. Guys, this action's already getting crazy. I'm starting to feel maybe a yellow flag down the road.
Yeah, but it's go time. You know, you got to go. You got to take the spot right now. Kind of, you know, make your moves as you can and just get back into a rhythm.
You know, and Painter dominating this race, if he does go ahead and finish it, I think this is a feel-good win for this whole group because Devin never causes any problems. He never discusses. All he wants to do is help. I think it'd be a really feel-good thing if Devin could pull this off.
Yeah, and Devin's just getting faster as this race is playing out. Almost ran a 24 flat about 10/10 of a second off running a 24 flat here. But here comes Jose Luis Rivera in that 20. You talk about a feel-good moment, Michael. How good would it feel for the 20 to get into victory lane and lock himself into the championship 6? A driver whose season has gone south from 5th in the point standings to start off these playoffs to now on the outside looking in. The 20 wants to get into victory lane to make himself known as a championship driver here as he rages on for the lead into 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Adam, if we could get a shot again from like Jose's cockpit, if you guys can watch at home and you see the difference, all these trucks are exactly the same. You'll see Jose's pushing up just a little bit. Devin runs the same line. Go right out the windshield. Devin runs the same line over and over, up, down, out. If Jose can do that, he can save the tire. But if he's going to push up first and then try to drop down, he's not going to save the tire that Devin is, and he's not going to have the drive off.
Yeah, and I was about to say the same thing as we saw from that shot earlier. You can see them. Jose's trying to mirror his line, but he's pushing a lot harder to do so. So Jose's got to kind of lock in here. You still got 56 laps to go, 55 at the line. Just kind of settle in right here. Remember, second place is not the end of the world. You're positioning yourself for next week. It's all about maximizing points. And I'm just fearful that Jose's burning his stuff up to try to keep up with Devin. I know, it's kind of hypocritical because, if you win the race, you're automatically into the championship. But you also have to look at the big picture, too. And the faster Jose realizes that, it kind of just manages his tires right here, he'll be better off.
Well, you're 100% right, Brady. I mean, of course, winning's great, but, 39 points isn't too bad for second place. That would help with some stage points, move you right up into the mix right here to going into next week.
Yeah, as right now, everything is just calm, cool, and collected on the racetrack. A lot of single file racing here, 148 laps into this race. We see Ashley Dotson in that 88. We try to be inside of the 4. Adam Newbert there. There's Joey Doucette in that 16. A lot of separation from the top 3 to the rest of the field. Very gapped between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And around the 4th position, all these drivers are stacking up right here, guys. Oh, you see the 88's going to make contact with the top side wall here. And Michael, I wanted to ask you here as you're watching this race play out, we're about to get to 50 to go. When do you see pit stops coming into play once again?
Only a caution flag. I think they're going to run this to the end. Brady said it was, 68 on the fuel. You've got 61 left. This is going to be very, very close on fuel. But without a caution, I think this goes to the end.
There we go. We'll have to wait and see right here tonight. And for those drivers, I think, Michael, you touched on it here, those drivers that want to push the envelope. I think all those pit stops, they've told the team to go ahead and pack it up. We're not heading down pit road here once again for the likes of Jacob Klinkart, Jose Luis Rivera. Those guys are not spending any more time down pit road. They want to spend all their time in victory lane right now as we have less than 49 laps to go here in this race. Things have tightened up just a little bit as Devin Painter still holds just about a second lead on Jose Luis Rivera, but we see a battle raging on right now for a top 5 position. Ashley Dotson keeps knocking on the door of Adam Newbert.
Absolutely. And yeah, I believe the way they're pushing, I believe that they can make it the rest of the way. But no matter what, everybody's going to go for it. It was so close there, and I'm sure they saved under caution. But that's going to be the longest run of the night here, this one right here. So we know Painter can do it. We've seen people like Ashley come up there, but there's a different mindset to this last run, guys. It's just, guys just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You see Keith getting squirrely right there. Ashley's working hard to get around Adam, but Adam doesn't want to give it up like he was earlier in the run on the previous stages. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys on 50, 60 lap run tires, and they're trying to, make passes at the end of the race.
Yeah, I think Keith needs to calm down just a bit. He's driving so deep in the corner, which makes him an elite driver here because he can do it and brake and still be fast. But this is a place that'll just chew your tires off if you go too deep. And right there, he made the adjustment almost as I talked about it. Didn't go nearly as deep, and you see he gets a better runoff.
Yeah, we see the 29 right there, Keith Bradley. He's trying to get around the 88 of Ashley Dotson. These are two drivers that have been very fast here tonight, just drivers that haven't been able to get up to that lead position, as now the 29 is going to try to the inside lane here. Not going to be enough speed here. And something that I've noticed here in the late stages of this race, I'd say for me, the speed's on the middle lane of the racetrack. That line you were talking about, Michael, where Devin Painter is going low side, high side, then out when he exits the corner. I think that's the move here tonight. We've seen the 99 just execute that line over and over again.
Yeah, I don't think Devin's hit a bump yet. That's the key to this thing. If you can stay out of the bumps, you can get to the gas quicker, and he's able to do it over and over again. You're going to see a good battle here. Joey's going to be pushing Jose, as Brady brought up. Jose went a little too hard trying to get the lead. I think it's going to cost him right here.
Yeah, going to cost him indeed. Right now, as the 16 is going to keep trying to the inside of the 20. Not a lot of passes to the high side right now. The 16 is going to go low on the 20. Michael McKinnon. And you see right there, Michael, the 20 is just trying all he can to try to hold on the top 2 spot. But while all this rages on, that increases Devin Painter's lead in the 99 to now over 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, Devin's loving this, but if you watch what Jose's doing, anybody that races trucks in this whole thing, when he goes up and he cuts down, that throws air across Joey's nose, and it makes him push. And he got lucky there. He stayed high. Joey, if you go high and you come low, it takes the air off the nose, makes you push. That's what Jose was trying to do. See him try to do it again.
And as we're coming up on a lap truck, that's Robbie Richardson in the 48. A lot more other trucks coming into play as well. There's the money man himself, the Ford machine of Adam Newbert right there. He's trying to get into the mix. Ashley Dawson, the 88. A lot of fast trucks coming up here on the 48. Robbie Richards trying to get around him here. Oh, things are getting squirrely here. Now on the backstretch, everybody clears the 48 here. As the 48 now is just gone from bad to worse. A lot of racing stripes on there. But one driver right now listening to smooth jazz, maybe sipping on some Perrier sparkling water, is Devin Painter in the 99, because he is relaxed and all by himself up there in the penthouse position in the lead side of the grid right now with over a 3-second lead.
Yeah, as we see Ashley slide it in there, that was a great job to keep it off the 16 of Joey Doucette. But yeah, like I said earlier, Jose earned his stuff up, and it looks like he's going to pay the price for it right here, because he's starting to bring all these other trucks back here. You got Ashley Dotson, the 88, Joey Doucette, Keith Bradley, Stephen Thomas, Adam Newton, Chris Cinnamon. All these guys are coming up here to pass Jose right now.
Let's be honest, guys. Let's give a hand to these guys. This track is hard. We've had one self-spin and one little accident. This has been an incredibly good race from these guys. Yes, not a lot of passing. As we discussed, the bumps, the track, the best way to make time is on the top. If you can get on the top, that's where you make passes, but it's so hard late in the run that it almost negates the tire fall off.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, as Adam Newbert's going to clear himself in that second position, we see the jumbled up mess it is for the rest of the top 5 right there. And I think, Michael, you just touched on it here, how difficult this racetrack is. I feel like as this race ticks down, we're about to creep up to about 30 laps to go, and you see what these drivers are doing, a few more squirrely moves. I feel like these caution flags are going to start raining down here as we're into 3 and 4. Devin Painter is just checking out in this race, guys. I don't think the entire season I've seen a driver dominate the way he's doing right now, just virtually separating from everybody else.
Well, we don't talk about Devin a lot, and there's a reason for that. He is normally caught up in an accident. He'll be 5th, 6th, get caught in an accident. Devin has all the talent in the world. We're showing it tonight, and he is just up and gone. But as we said, you watched his line. He is the most consistent guy on the track. And every time these guys are diving in to make a pass, they're burning tires. And he's just driving into the sunset with a nice clean air.
Absolutely. And, a big, kudos to Devin, because he deserves, this run. He's, he always shows up, bad race or not, what things happen to him, it's out of luck. I know he, if he goes on to actually win this race, he's gonna, look back at the last round to see where he could have, maybe made it in to where he can clinch himself into the championship 6. But, Devin's just one of those guys where, he'll celebrate it and, he'll finish out the rest of the season and try to see what he can do better next season, to get to this point. It's all about, learning.
I mean, Devin's just class act. He doesn't talk stuff. He doesn't do anything in the chats. He shows up. He gets wrecked out. He's usually caught in somebody else's stuff. He doesn't complain. He does have a win in Nazareth, so it won't be his first win. He's won at Pocono. So we know he can drive a technical track, and he is darn well showing it right now.
Doing it indeed. As we creep up to that 30 to go mark right now, we see a battle between the animal Keith Bradley and that 29 and Ashley Dotson right now. This is a battle for a podium finish, guys. A lot of implications in this battle right now. Of course, Ashley Dawson in the 88 is a driver that we've touched on, racing with no worries on the racetrack. Of course, wants to win, wants to put some cash money in his pocket. But for the 29 and Keith Bradley, he comes in hungry every race, as an animal does, into the corner right now. He's trying to get another podium finish. The 29 could be one of those championship 6. Has to get the job done here tonight to make sure Talladega can be one of those races, guys. Afford to maybe get caught up in there if you have to for the 29.
Yeah, Keith looking a little tight right now, that early trying to get to positions, which you can't blame him, because if he can maintain, he's ended up in an accident with a top 5. That's a good point night for him, but seems to be getting a little bit tight right now.
Yeah, as we're down the back. Go ahead, Brady.
Well, I expect Keith to get this position right here. And, they're both gaining time on Adam. I don't know if they'll have anything for Devin. I could be wrong, but, second place is not out of the woods for Keith Bradley.
I agree, Brady, but, I mean, if you watch the ticker up there, Devin's got about a 10th a lap on everybody right now. So he's able to maintain the speed, and just build the lead. Is just an incredible performance out of Devin so far this evening. I mean, it'd be a shame if he doesn't end up with the win.
Yeah, right now 172 as we're into 1 and 2. We talk about Devin Painter has almost a 4-second lead on the rest of the field right now as we're down the backstretch with the Ford machine of Adam Newbert. A little bit of a slide out of the corner right there. Starting to see those tires start to slide just a little bit, Michael. Is that a little bit of a bad sign here with 30 to go?
I don't know if it's a bad sign. What it's going to make is passing very, very hard, because to pass on the bottom, you got to get on the gas quicker than the guy on the top. And if you can't, it's going to be real hard to pass. That's why I was talking about the restart. It was very important to get what you could before these tires equalized.
Yeah, it looks like we're having that happen right now as Keith Bradley is just trying to go to the top side of the racetrack, trying to get some speed on the exit, maybe lock down a podium finish here tonight. Of course, folks, this is our first round of the Elite 10 here in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. We'll cut it down to 6 after next week's race at Talladega. Can't believe we're almost into the championship race here in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Of course, my name is William Tiller. I've been joined by Michael McKinnon, Brady LaBeouf, and Adam Flieger as our wonderful producer here at Nazareth. And guys, with 26 laps to go, it has been the Devin Painter show. We watched our pole sitter Blake Lothian have early issues. And now drivers are getting very close to that top side wall. Things could really shake up here if a caution flag flies here in these late stages.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Adam kind of push back towards Ashley and Keith, and we're seeing Stephen Thomas come into the picture, Adam Newton in that 82 coming into the picture, so it's going to get real dicey here. But I didn't realize this or catch this, but did Jose Luis Rivera pit? Because he is 1 lap down running in the 18th spot.
Yeah, I didn't see that either, Brady. That'd be unfortunate. He was having a great run. I don't see damage. Maybe he did come down and get some tires just to see what he could make happen out of it.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing, guys. Last time down pit road, field 20 was on lap 170.
Well, yeah, that's what they're doing, because Joey Doucette's done it in the 16. The 5 of Jacob Klinghart's done the same strategy. So we'll have to see if they can come back through this field. I know they should be running about 2 seconds a lap faster, but with 23 laps to go, that's going to be a big feat to overcome.
that's got me wondering a little, Brady and Will. Joey Doucette's one of the best in this place on managing fuel. Are we sure they can make it to the end?
That is definitely a question we're going to have to find out. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one. But we're going to have to wait to see what happens with Painter and the guys up front.
Yeah, Michael, and I think that goes along with what you alluded to about 50 or 60 laps ago, where you said an undercut possibly could be in play. Maybe that's the strategy some of these drivers are facing with here tonight down the backstretch. If you have about a 5-second gap between you and the leader, why not try an undercut to see what happens, just in case the leader doesn't have enough to make it to the end. You could be out there past the leader while he's down pit road, and with 21 laps to go, Michael, this might come down to about 5 laps, 6 laps to go here if the leader has to head down pit road.
Yeah, what it could do, I mean, if we go green and they can't make it, of course, I think that Joey's in the catbird seat or Jose, either one. If we don't get a caution, but if we do get a caution, they're at a disadvantage. They're going to be maybe trapped a lap down if they can't get the lap back. It's just, this is a catch-22 for these guys. They're trying something because they knew they couldn't win. They're trying to win, of course. So we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out.
Oh no! As Ashley Dawson makes contact with the topside wall, he comes down, makes contact with the 23 Stephen Thomas, he makes contact with the 29 of Keith Bradley. Everybody's okay though, we just played bumper cars for a minute there. We see everything's okay on the racetrack right now as Keith Bradley is going to maintain his position. Stephen Thomas is going to maintain as well. Ashley Dawson is going to maintain the 88. Things are going to rail right back up once again. These 3 drivers have actually been at it all race long, guys. It doesn't matter what position they've been battling for. They've been battling.
I mean, wow, what a save out of Keith. And if Ashley got the right front, he might be a little bit slower than normal. And then, how about this, fellas? I like to call out guys we don't talk about tonight. Raul Meza coming into the picture right here on all 4 of these guys. They keep battling around. Mr. Raul's going to have something to tell them here in a minute.
Ooh, Brady, as it gets very close off the 2 right there between the 29 and the 23. Comes Adam Newton right there. I'd say a guy that's really fought back here tonight, had early issues. The 82 just dusted himself off, made himself known once again. He's back up into the mix, right up inside the top 5. And oh my goodness, we are almost the Sprint Network bars around the corner right now as this battle rages into 3 and 4.
Absolutely, and Devin Painter continues, putting time up on Adam Newbert in second position. It's up to 4.6 seconds. So if they can't make it on fuel, Mike or Will, I would say that Devin can save here. Plenty of time to save. This group right here, they just can't get away from each other. It almost looks like Ashley's holding up Keith. Keith's driving it in there deep, Michael, as you were saying earlier. And I think if Keith could get around Ashley, it would help kind of keep Steven off his tail to where, he can run the line and drive it in the way he really, really wants to.
Yeah, and I think if it's going to cost him too many points here, he's probably going to make a lane in a minute. But you said exactly what I was thinking before you came on. 4.5-second lead, a little more. Devin Painter could roll out of the corner and save a lot of fuel because they still got Joey Doucette a lap down. So if he's rolling out, of course, he's saving fuel. Of course, you don't want to use any brake while you're saving fuel. So he's in the catbird seat right here. If there's anybody can save, it'll be Devin.
Wow, a little bit of 3-wide action right there. Joey Doucette, I think Joey Doucette and Stephen Thomas have a disagreement right there. Joey's actually on newer tires. I'm not sure if Steven knows that or not, but he's trying to come up here and get his lap back, and I believe Ashley Dotson just got his lap back. I'm sorry, got back into the wall.
Yeah, this is very dicey up here, Michael, and I think if we do have a late race caution, it's going to come from this group right here, and most of these drivers are championship drivers.
Yeah, these are playoff guys. They got to play this smart because this is one move away from losing about 20 points, so they've either got to decide, okay, I've got a 3rd or 4th place car, this is what I'm going to do, let's maintain. But if they keep doing this, these old tires, we're on 48, almost 50 lap tires. Well, matter of fact, we're a little more than that. So I know these guys are screaming for some grip right now. Oh, Clean Car is going to send it here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that's on the same strategy as Joey Doucette, trying to get his lap back. And, you know, it's not going to be horrible if a caution does come out for those guys, but if you're trapped down a lap, it's not going to be the best.
Yeah, but even if they get their lap back, I'm sorry, Will. I mean, they're going to be on 20 lap older tires than the leaders, or be starting in the back on new rubbers. So they want this thing to go green and see what they can end up getting, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for Joey Doucette, though, looks like a man on a mission. Joey's had one heck of a race here, wins the first stage there, guys. Race kind of went a little bit south for him there. Stage 2 wasn't his. Stage 3, of course, just tried the undercut strategy here. He's trying to scrape out possibly a top 15. Michael would have to say his best bet for that 16 machine maybe right now. But I'd say the night has absolutely belonged to that man we just showed on your screen. The 99 machine of Devin Painter is now up in the lead by about 6 seconds. But that lead's starting to go down just a little bit. I think, Brady, he's starting to kick into that save mode you were talking about.
Absolutely. You know, you gotta finish. You know, you gotta make it to the end to finish these races. So we'll see. But I know Adam Newton. It's good to see him running up front too. I know he's had some bad luck on Mondays and Fridays here lately these past couple of weeks. So it's good to see him running good too as well.
I was going to say the same thing, Brady. This is the guy that's got one of the higher I ratings in the entire thing, and I think we're going to have a nice interview with him in a little bit. He's done a real good job saving tires. It's really paying off right now. He's got 7 laps to get one more spot. I think he's going to get it done.
Yeah, guys, there's Raul Meza in that 37. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on that 37 machine just yet, guys, but right now, he's locked himself in for a top 10 finish. Finally, for the 37, a top 10 truck that we know has the top 10 speed will officially put that 37 in the top 10 if he can hold on with 6 laps to go. But he has to avoid this mess in front of him right now. That includes Steven Thomas, Jose Luis Rivera in the 20, Keith Bradley in the 29. They also have a battle in front of them. That's Adam Newton right there. Ashley Dodson right there as well. These battle ridges almost 6 laps to go. This race might be wrapped up with Devin Painter thinking about his dinner reservations already, guys, but a lot of implications right here inside the top 5 for our championship 6 right now as we have a battle side by side off of 4.
Yeah, I just hope Jose realizes he's a lap down right now. You're not getting another spot in 5 laps. You put the tires on, so let's not get too crazy here and cause something.
Whoa! As you see it right there, just on the slightest view here in the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. Just as you were mentioning that, Michael, you see the 20 get very squirrely in these mix of drivers over here with 4 laps to go off of the corner into 1 and 2. We're about to wrap up the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200, and boy, I'm sure Devin Painter wants some of that Millie's Restaurant food here in victory lane as we're about to wrap it up here. The 99, boys, all by himself. He has no idea the type of chaos that's happening behind him.
Oh, absolutely not. He just wants to say, hey, get the white flag out here. And Jose needs to realize he's not racing for position here. Chill, finish, get your points. That's all we need to do. That's all Devin Painter's hoping for.
Whoa! As the tight squeeze off of 2 right there, Steven Thomas almost makes contact with the 29 and Keith Bradley. 3 laps to go. Throw up those 3s. Rest in peace to Dale Earnhardt because we're off of corner number 4 right now. Gonna make it 2 laps to go. Devin Painter has already parked that 99 in victory lane. He's gonna watch the rest of the field go by here as he has an 8-second lead on the rest of the field. But we're watching this battle. We still haven't solidified our top 3 or top 5 yet here with 2 laps to go into 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Adam Newton looks like he's going to try to make a move on Adam Newbert, try to get that runner-up position before Ashley Dotson right here in 4th. Keith Bradley's done a great job of holding off Steven Thomas. I know he's going to try hard to keep that spot right there and get a top 5 after the mishap he had earlier in the race.
Yeah, it's a good comeback for Keith. As we said, he went hard at the beginning, and once these tires equalize, it's just about impossible to make a pass, so let's do good. You got your stage points. Let's get your points and move forward there. It's going to be pretty good finish for all these guys, really. And here comes Kyle Hess again, saving those tires.
As the checkered flag flies and the field goes across the line, tonight's victory in dominating fashion. A driver that hasn't been in victory lane, Michael, you touched on it, since Pocono a long time ago. Here tonight, he gets that victory in a very impressive fashion, running a 24, let's call it a 24 flat, the fastest lap time of the entire field, the fastest lap time of the entire night, the 99 wins the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200 by 7.11 seconds. 7-11 here tonight. He's going to burn it down in style.
What they call that All-Star race last week? A good old-fashioned butt kicking. And that's what Devin put on tonight. He had something figured out. Oh, we got to figure the burnout, Devin, now. Come on now. We can't put her in the inside wall. But other than that, it was all good, man. He had it all figured out tonight.
Yeah, congratulations to Devin. He deserved that. Like he said on the comms a while ago, that thing was on rails, and it sure was, because nobody had anything for him that last 150 laps. He was just smooth sailing all the way to the end. So it's good to see Devin come in here, and nobody's locked in. That's the biggest story after tonight, is those 10 drivers that came in here tonight. Nobody is safe going into Talladega next week, so nobody's locked into the championship. So it's going to make even more, crucial to just finish that race next week.
Well, and that's right. And let's give a shout out to Ed Osborne and all that top 10. Cody Knott 11th, Brandon Bullock. I mean, it was a good runs from a lot of guys tonight.
Absolutely. Let's talk about those official results right now. Of course, we just talked about the 99 Devin Painter winning here tonight. Second place will belong to the money man himself, Adam Newbert. Third place will be Adam Newton. The Adams finishing back-to-back right there. Ashley Dotson's going to finish in fourth, up 12 spots from the drop of the green flag. We touched on the Australian. A lot of speed underneath that Chevy. Fifth place here tonight's going to belong to the Animal, the 29 machine. Sixth place is going to belong to 23 of Stephen Thomas. Seventh place is going to be 37 of Raul Meza. Top 10 for Raul. There we go, Raul. Eighth position is going to be the 86 of Kyle Hess. Ninth position is going to be last week's winner, Chris Cinnamon, in that 3. And rounding out our top 10, Ed Osborne in that 42.
And an 11th position, Cody Knott, another one of those round of 10 drivers. Brandon Bullock in the 12th spot. Jeff Sickles, 13th. Joey Doucette, and 14th. Jacob Klinghardt, and 15th. Jose Luis Rivera in the 16th spot. Those 3 drivers were on that different strategy. Just didn't pan out for them and work. I think they're going to, especially Joey's going to probably rethink that, maybe that last final run. Robbie Richards in the 17th spot. Hug Wigginton comes back 18th.
Yeah, we see the rest of that field right there, Brady. I think
that's Derek Kilgore in the 19th position. Blake Lothian had his mishaps earlier in the race, 20th position. Eric Zimmerman, we saw him involved in a wreck, 21st. And then we had a couple of guys that didn't start the race that joined the session. So 21 guys tonight. So, before we get to interviews, Will, the biggest story, I believe, is, nobody in the Elite 10 won tonight. And like I said, we'll have to look at the points here whenever they come up in about 15, 20 minutes, whenever they get done, and see where everybody stacks up going into Talladega.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for a lot of those drivers on the outside looking in, a few of them got bit by that strategy bug there towards the end of that race, Brady. So interested to see how their night's going to shake out here at the end of this race. But we'll step aside for just a short break. We'll be right back with those podium finishers here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network here in the conclusion of the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We just watched the conclusion of the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200. That was won in dominating fashion by Devin Painter and the 99 Machine. But it is time to catch up with our third place finisher, and he's standing by with the boss man himself, Brady LaBeouf, Mr. Adam Newton. Take it away, Brady.
Yeah, we got Adam Newton in here, and driver of the number 82 machine for Swim. That's Sick With It Motorsports. He's running part time. He came in here towards the later part of the season, and he's ran these races here. And he came out tonight and ran Rockingham, and he comes on with a podium finish at third place. Adam, you got a copy of us?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, well, congratulations on your third place finish. Tell us a little bit about the race. We saw you kind of lose it there coming off of 4 on lap 57, I believe. So tell us a little bit about what happened there and how you were able to overcome that and come back to finish third.
No, I was trying to be too polite to dive bombers and kind of threw my rhythm off and went down in the corner. And the tire right rear was just a little bit hot, and just I had to take care of it and drove right back through the field. Just timing. It was like I was telling Devin, and timing was everything in this race.
I gotcha. Well, we saw that caution come out. I believe it was around lap 132, 133 ish. That did you feel that the intensity picking up that last run for everybody? We saw some guys get aggressive, burn their stuff up early in the run, but then we saw guys like you, maybe Stephen Thomas, Raul Meza, kind of just hang out, running, the back half of the top 10 and just kind of save your stuff, and then you guys made a run here at the end.
Yeah, I really never changed my pace from the time the green flag went back out to at the end of the race. I told Adam, I was going to, make a little run and just to, come back up on his bumper and whatnot to make it look nice for y'all on the broadcast, but I couldn't get around them. It was too late in the race. The track really went through a big change. Just a little way after halfway, it got really, really tight, but it was still fun to race, though.
Well, good deal. Well, we appreciate you coming out tonight. What are you expecting next week at Talladega? I know you race with Swim and whatnot. You're going to come out and kind of work with those guys and help guys like Stephen Thomas, Adam Newbert make it to the championship 6 with the drafting help, or when are we going to see you again?
Absolutely, I'll be there to help my teammates out. I'm a team player. Anything I can do to help them get to the next point is really important for our sponsors and whatnot, and for the team morale too. I mean, that's pretty important to us, anyways. So.
I got you. Well, like I said, we appreciate you coming out. And before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thank y'all for the broadcast. Thank DSR Electric, Millie's Landing, A's Landscaping, excuse me, Daryl's Nail and Gun Repair, Landco, First Funding, Roofco Spas, The Family Handyman, Millie's Restaurant, Millie's North, and Dan, if he's watching tonight, thanks for all his help, and Jeff too for letting me be a part of the team.
Well, congratulations on your third place finish, and we will see you again next week at Talladega.
Good deal. Y'all have a good week.
That was our third place finisher, Adam Newton there, Brady. And now standing by with our second place finisher, the money man himself. It's a party of the Adams there. There's Adam Newbert standing by with Michael McKinnon. Take it away.
What is happening, big dog? Good run tonight, man. Tell us what you might have thought you could do to get a little pressure on Devin, or was he just that good tonight?
Man, Devin was in a world of his own tonight, I'll tell you that. I noticed his speed in stage 2. He blew by us, and usually when people blow by you, you're like, all right, man, you go burn up those tires. I'll see you in 20 laps, But he got out front, and he never looked back, and he kept going, and I could not, his long run pace was unmatched right there. Basically what I needed at the end was a caution, caution, and then have everybody come down pit road for tires. I probably could have beat him off pit road, but he was too good tonight. He had just so much long run speed.
Well, I wanted to run and I got home a little late. I know I practiced enough. How much did the bumps play into being able to make passes tonight? It looked like it was really a track position race. Were they just bad enough if you tried to dive it in, it would just get you too tight and throw you up the track where you just couldn't make a move?
Yeah, on the longer run, when your tires burn up, you could not pass on the bottom unless the person, you were catching or passing had just burnt their stuff up so bad they couldn't turn. So if you got underneath of somebody, it would just, the bumps would push you up, and then you wouldn't be able to, especially off turn 2. That turn is really tight coming off turn 2. 3 and 4, you may be able to hold a little bit of pace with them, but the bumps, you definitely could not hold it wide open every single time coming off turn 4 because of those bumps down there. But if you took care of your stuff, you had enough grip, you could probably pass somebody on the bottom if they burnt their stuff up.
Yeah, we could see a little bit of that from a couple guys that had a little more runoff. What does it say for this league and these guys to come to a track like this, have only 2 actual cautions, I believe, able to run well, and did the fact that Talladega is next week, did that play into anybody being conservative tonight just to get as many points as they can before the craziness that's going to ensue at Talladega comes up?
I don't know. I pushed hard for stage points tonight, and I pushed hard for a good finish because I don't want to worry about Talladega next week. There were some guys that laid back, just kind of tried to play it safe. I feel like probably maybe that hurt him a little bit more considering the lack of wrecks tonight that did happen, and the lack of stuff that got taken out. Some of those guys that laid back probably didn't get the finish they wanted to or were expecting. And to go back to what you were saying about what it says about the league, we kind of came into here thinking it was really going to be a lot of cautions. The last time we ran here, it was just filled with cautions, so I kind of expected the same thing tonight, but it was a lot better tonight. I tried to get as many stage points as I could. I almost got that stage 1 win. Joey, I freaking joked with him over the radio that he got saved from me twice on 2 cautions, the first one being the end of stage 1. I had a huge run on him coming off turn 2, and then the caution come out. I was going to get him for the stage win, and then at the end of the very last caution we had, I was passing him on the inside, and the dang caution come out. So I kind of joked with him. He got saved twice by 2 cautions, and he said he got lucky. So, but yeah, it was all in all, it was pretty good, clean race for most guys out there. I mean, there was, a couple little things here and there, but it was all in all a good race.
Yeah, we saw a couple things on the broadcast here and there. But anyway, man, great points night, great run. Good luck next week at Talladega. Hopefully I can get back in the show with you. Before we let you go, of course, shout out who makes it possible.
Yeah, it looks like I got a pretty good amount of points coming in the next week. So I got a nice cushion, which is what I wanted going into Talladega. I don't want to have to stress too much. I just want to play it safe like I like to do at Dega. Hate the plate races, but I get to give a shout out to DSR Electric. Dan Goebel over there at DSR Electric does a lot for the Swin team, Stick With It Motorsports. Jeff Sickle is the team leader. All of our sponsors, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Darren's Nug Gun Repair, LaDanco, Family Handyman, Millie's Restaurant and Catering. Thank you guys. Brady, you're in here. Thank you very much for everything you do for the league. We don't tell you enough. I know I give you enough headache. Michael, thanks for always hanging out with us, being that old man up in the booth. Will, thanks for calling me the money man all the time. I appreciate that. And Adam Flieger in the production booth. Thank y'all. It's been a fun season. So 2 more races. Let's end it out pretty good.
Info, buddy. Well, I'll try to give you a push next week if you cut me a break. So let's see what happens, and you enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. We'll see you later.
All right. Thank y'all.
That was Adam Newbert, the money man himself, the Ford machine, coming home second here tonight. Without further ado, I'm down in victory lane with a man who is ready for that victory dinner here tonight in the Millie's Restaurant and Catering 200. Devin, we saw you win that race by about 7 seconds, my man. You just won this race with the fastest lap of the entire field. You had the 99 on rails. Break down how you found this fast and furious speed in the 99 machine here tonight.
I guess it really just boils down to practice. I loaded in a little late, and I seen some people was putting down some fast times. I put down a quickest time as I could, and it's like, man, they're so fast. So I said, don't worry about that, and so I just ran long runs. I ran like 250, 55 lap runs, and it was really consistent. Handling stayed pretty good the whole time, so I'm like, well, if it goes long, maybe I'll have a shot. And sure enough, that's how it all turned out.
I'm sorry, Devin. I'm kind of laughing up here in the booth because it sounds to me that you came into the session, you saw other people were fast, and you said, oh boy, I hope I'm fast enough. All of a sudden, your truck turned into a rocket here tonight. Were you surprised on how fast you were, behind the wheel at 99?
Yeah, honestly, it was a bit surprising. I thought, over the long haul, I might be able to get maybe, top 5, hold on somewhere around there, maybe have a shot. But it just went on. I was like, man, this thing is just fast and it's just not slowing down. It's like, I'm not to complain. I just hold the pedal down, just keep on getting it.
Yeah, and one thing we touched on during the broadcast as well, you're one of those drivers that are basically racing with no worries, for a lack of a better term. You're not racing for a championship. You're not in the mix with those guys. If you could see the chaos that was ensuing behind you, I'm sure you'll go back and watch that broadcast. Positions 2 through 7 was a constant battle on the racetrack. You didn't see any of that with your gaps that you had on the rest of the field. Does having that weight off your shoulders, does that give you the extra motivation to just basically, as you mentioned, just focus on your speeds and not have to worry about points and championships?
Yeah, it certainly does take that pressure off. Just go all out and just try to get as many wins. I know the season's wrapping up here soon, but still try to get as much as I can, and of course try not to interfere with anybody still in the playoffs. But like you said, I had big enough gap. I didn't have to worry about them. They were too busy fighting back there.
And Devin, I think up here in the booth, we had to go through and look. Your last win was at Pocono here at Nazareth. What series and how long ago was that win for the folks at home?
I believe that was last season, actually. I think I got that right before the playoffs last year. Another good race where I actually got to chase down a person who's had many wins in the Nazareth series, Keith Bradley, and it always feels good to chase him down and pass him and pull away and get a win like that. So yeah, it's been a while, but it feels good to get another one.
Well, tonight, Devin, I can say you didn't have to chase down anybody. You didn't have to pass anybody. You held it down. You beat the likes of Adam Newbert, Adam Newton, Ashley Dotson, and Keith Bradley all by 7+ seconds on the racetrack, my man. So huge win, huge congratulations, a well-deserved victory for that 99. And since it's been so long, we have you here in Victory Lane. Here's your opportunity to shout out any of your fans at home or any sponsors that make these races possible for you.
Just take a quick moment to thank pretty much everybody that puts this show on. It's a really well run series, professionally run. Everyone, for the most part, there's a little bickering here or there, but everyone respects everybody. For the most part. Yeah, it's just a really fun, well-run series, and just glad to be a part of it.
I cannot wait to see that 99 at the high banks of Talladega next week. He'll come into that race with a victory, winning here in dominating fashion. Devin, I'm sure you'll have a great weekend with this victory, but we appreciate you taking the time with us here. Huge congratulations from us here at Nazareth, and go enjoy your victory, and I cannot wait to see you here at Talladega next week.
All right, will do. You guys have a good one.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Devin,
Yeah.
that's a great looking paint job, man.
Oh, no, tell me about it. Sure is. Got to thank Michael for that.
Sorry, shameless plug.
Yeah.
Gotta shout out the painters, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yes, sir. But that was the 99 Devin Painter, our race winner here tonight, guys. And the boss man, Brady LaBeouf, up here in the booth. We have Michael McKinnon as well. Any final thoughts about that dominating performance of the 99?
I'm just happy to see Devin finish one. As I said, he's got the speed. He has patience. He races smart, races clean. Always gets caught up in something. It's just I'm just super excited to see him finish one off because he has all the talent to do it. It's been a while, right? But he's a 2-time winner now. So he can do it on a short track, he can do it on a big track. I'm just excited for him.
And Brady, the boss man, any final thoughts before we wrap up here tonight at Rockingham? Looks like, yeah, I think Brady might have headed out, or he's checking out those point standings that just broke after tonight's race. Michael, we look at Jose Luis Rivera. Of course, all this will be official after tonight. He's officially in that championship 6 after tonight's race. So a lot to watch out for next week here in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series as we take on those high banks at Talladega. We mentioned it a few times here tonight. That will be our last race before the championship 6 is formed. But of course, can't miss that simracerhub.com truck series on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're hitting up the Roval at Charlotte. I'm sure everybody's excited about that one, Michael. But for all of us here at the NASRA 360 Racing Network, myself, William Tiller, Michael McKinnon, the boss man himself, Brady LaBeouf, and Adam Flieger, our wonderful producer here at NASRA. We want to thank everybody for tuning in here on this wonderful, fantastic Friday. We just saw a dominated performance out of Devin Painter in the 99, but things sure are heating up here in the championship rounds here towards the end. Only 2 races remain here in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. We hope to see you all next Friday night here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you there.
Thanks for joining us.